And we're back. Dr. Anime here. We're going to be talking about One Piece chapter 900. I almost said 2. I don't know why. 998. 2 chapters from 1,000. Now, whatever happens on chapter 1,000, it has to be big. Usually something big always happens when it reaches a new number. 900 got something big. 700 got something big. So it has to be something big. Now, this chapter is called Ancient Zone. So that already gives you an idea of like what you might see. Now we already know that Kaido was using smiles to get different types of devil fruit. So we're going to be seeing them from his different generals and whatnot. So the chapter opens up with Marcos setting Chopper on fire, which caused Zoro and Brook to well, Zoro screams at Marco like, "What the hell?" Like, "Hey!" And then Brook just had like a battle ready look on. And they both slash towards Marco, who just like flies up. And he like talking to Chopper. He's like, "Is it hot?" And then Chopper's like, "No, it's not hot." And it's actually like burning away because half of Chopper's body was like freezing up, like frozen. So it melts that up, and Chopper's like is actually suppressing the infection. And Marcos go on and does it to everyone else who's infected, and he mentions that it will only last as long as they have enough stamina. So if they use up their stamina, the infection is gonna start to take back over. So as that's happening, Chopper is happy because he said that he could now focus on making the mass produced antibodies to cure everyone. And he has as that's happening, the Mink tribe's doctor. See, when I read this, I was like, man, why they gotta do that? So Dr. Miyagi. So I was watching some Cobra Kai again because I already watched it, and Miyagi is an honorable name. Like, it's in all of our hearts. Everyone who ever watched it, that's in our hearts. Like him and Mr. Feeney, But and Nurse Tristan are there to help Chopper mass produce the antibody. So Marco offered to fly Zoro, Robin, and Brook to the roof because he was like, "You guys aren't here to fight the weak ones. You guys are here for the main force, here to fight the big ones." So as he says that, they were like, "Well, we can't just leave Chopper." And then the Yakuza bosses, leaders, they stood up and like, "We'll protect Chopper. You guys go." And we also have X Drake, who turns into his dinosaur form and attacks someone who was rushing at Chopper, and he says he'll stay and help them too. Zoro was kind of like smugly says, "Yeah, switching to the winning sides, I see. You're smart." So as that's happening, we switch to Jinbei, who's talking to Luffy and says he thinks Sanji stayed on the 3rd floor because he sensed a strong opponent and he was gonna keep them at bay so that they don't join up top. And then Jinbei was like, "I'll stay back too in the same aspect, and you go on ahead, Luffy." So he parts with Luffy, and he gonna stay on the 4th floor as Luffy's gonna try to head up to the next floor. And as that's happening, we switch over again to Frankie fighting, and he's fighting with Sasaki, who is also a member of the Flying Six. X Drake was a member as well, but of course he switched sides, so he's an ex-member now. So Sasaki is in the form of a Triceratop, and he's attacked. He was like, "There's nothing you could do now," because I guess his defense is really strong. And Sanji it switches to Sanji now. Sanji is still wrapped up with the web, like on his, like around his arms and stuff are like trapped, but his legs are still like free. So he's running and he tries to escape, but I think he either falls or one of the people rushing after him knocked him down. I think he fell, and you see the giant lady who was like sitting down. Her lower half, like where her legs are supposed to be, are like the bottom half is like a spider. So she's like on the roof, like crawling, and then everyone else, like all the other ladies and stuff, are in the form of snakes. And all Sanji sees is, I'm surrounded by beautiful women, and then one of them like, what's the hell wrong with this guy? And I'm like, Sanji, like, come on. Even Master Roshi, I mean, Master Roshi is pretty bad, but like he at least trained to handle himself a bit better to where he could at least face off against the opposite sex. And Sanji over here is just like he doesn't even hit women, so how is he gonna even get out of here? Like, like there's certain heroes like who are like that too, but then other ones are more where they view women equal to the point where they view them equal across the board. They're like, women could be in martial arts too. There's nothing wrong against that. Whereas like in Kenichi, the world's strongest disciple, he couldn't hit women. Like it was against his principle. So he what was her name? Miua? It's like MUI. Like his love interest. She would like grab his arm and was like using him to fight and stuff because he wouldn't do it. And eventually he had to train with her, with Miu, and and through that he was able to get used to the idea of like fighting off. Because they described it to where you're actually dishonoring the woman by not seeing them as equals because you're refusing to fight them, and they're martial artists, either it being a real fight, or sparring. They want to be viewed equally. So you're dishonoring them by not fighting them equally. Because there's plenty of girl fighters who, in various animes, who are stronger than most male fighters. So it's something that where you show them that equal respect as a martial artist or a fighter. So like Goku doesn't care about that. Like he views them as an equal fighter. When he was fighting Kel just in the Tournament of Power. It didn't matter that she was a girl. He viewed her as a warrior, as a fighter, and he fought her. Now, he didn't go all out because he was also somewhat training her as well, so he could have a better fight as she improved. But let me switch back over to this. So, the scene switches from Sanji after like he gets stopped, but we find out that the giant lady name is Black Maria, and she's also a member of the Flying Six. So Jinbei it's switched to Jinbei, and he's still on the fourth floor. He enters a cat cafe, and the Flying Six member is in the form of a giant cat, and then his followers all have a cat aspect to them. Either they have a tail, or the ears or their face might look like a cat, but each one of them have an aspect of a feline. So as Jinbei steps in, the leader name is Who's Who, like Doctor Who. Who's it? The Doctor is it Doctor Who? Dr. Seuss is cat, like who? But anyways, he mentioned that he's seen Jinbei before, back when Jinbei was a warlord, and Jinbei asked him to switch to his human form so that he could see if he would recognize him. He was like, fat chance, like you'll never get the opportunity to see my human form. So it switches from that to the outside of the dome, and we see Ulti and Page One, who are both members of the the Flying Six, and they're both in their different forms too. They're dinosaur forms, and they're going on the attack against the various samurai soldiers. And as that's happening, Yamato is talking to Momo in a storage room, because they couldn't escape. So Yamato took them to a place that she thought was safe, and she's talking to him about how there's this giant dragon statue that was damaged, and she said that it used to be at the front, but now it's stored in here because a friend of mine damaged it when they came here years ago, and we see that it was Ace. We see like Ace like kind of like blacked out, but like his fire. So we know it's Ace. Like you know it's Ace. So we're about to next chapter. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get like the backstory of that maybe, or that kind of makes me think that Sabo is gonna come. I don't know why, but I feel like Sabo might come, because then it's gonna be Sabo who has fire, and then there might be some interactions between Sabo and Yamato. I don't know. Some people think that Yamato might join the Straw Hats, but then Carrot might also join. If I had to pick between them, I mean, the Straw Hats already have that connection with Carrot, so I could see her joining. And but I would like Yamato to join too. But she actually might stay and be like a protector of Momo. So she probably won't join them. She'll probably just stay in Wano. But she wants to be like Odin, and Odin left and traveled the seas. That's why I feel like she might join the Straw Hats. But we will only know at the end of this. But let me know what you thought of this chapter. Where do you think we're gonna go from here? Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.